Hey everyone, SW Miron here. I hope you're having a great day, and I want to welcome you to Glass Skull's Mental Health Podcast, episode 30. I can't even believe it. 30 weeks in a row. There have been some people coming back. And listen, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just so grateful that I have this space to be able to do what I'm doing, because whether it's helping one person, like one day at a time, or more than that, like I already feel like I've achieved every goal I had set out to achieve by sharing my story. And my story, Scenes from My Skeleton Closet, I mean, that brought me so much peace to write that book and to release 20 years of all that stuff and kind of set the record straight. But lately, I have been in a situation where I've started to struggle at my job, and it's complicated, and I'm not going to get into too many details because I think people can relate to just the bare bones of this. You have a job, it works for you, you make the amount of money you need to pay your bills, whatever. But when your life starts becoming you're just going through the motions, and you're getting up every day, and you're getting there at 6:30, and then you're staying till 4 o'clock, and then you're rushing around by the time you get out, that you don't even have time to spend time with your husband or spend time with your pets, or do extra things. I'm a dance instructor. I love that, but I can't make that my full income. If I could, I would, but I'm just not at this stage in my dance teacher career. So I had to basically, last night I really got to a really dark place of my depression. And over the past 3 weeks, I could feel it slipping. I could. And, I think that's because I'm well trained in how to recognize when I'm slowly starting to go off the deep end. Because part of the problem is my perfectionism. It's part of my DNA. I am my worst enemy, my own worst enemy, because I hold myself to such high standards that they're borderline unobtainable. But I just look at it if I love something and I'm motivated to be a part of it and I'm doing it as my career, I want to feel fulfilled. I want to, make children can continue to feel like they are somebody that is special and important and they are loved no matter what. And that's what I've always brought to my classrooms, whether I was a special education teacher, gen ed teacher, self-contained special education teacher. So I can't even believe it, but my depression got so low last night. I've been walking around for weeks, in a shell of myself. I've been just hiding in my bed, hiding on my couch, not going anywhere, canceling plans with friends, not being able to make it through the day without anxiety attacks, panic attacks, trouble eating, because when I get super anxious, I get really nauseous. And then when I'm nauseous, it's really hard to eat, because if you're already feeling nauseous, come on. So it was getting bad, and it was slipping slowly. And we've been playing around, my med provider and myself, with different, ways to try to treat the symptoms I'm experiencing. But it's all kind of resulted in, coming back to looking at managing your environment. I've made a video about that before. If your environment that you're working in has a potential to, well, one, if it's not bringing you joy, then you shouldn't be doing it anyway. Life is way too long. We work way too hard, all of us, no matter what we do, to be in a job that you're just not happy. It doesn't mean it never made you happy. It doesn't mean that you're a jerk for having this kind of revelation that you're ready to go back to something that you didn't ever know if you'd make it back to again. I don't know, I just kind of cracked yesterday. I went and got my hair done. I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of weird in the sunlight. I have to go through this 3-stage treatment to get my hair to the color I want it to be, but stay tuned. Yeah, so yesterday I went and I did that as a self-care thing. And my birthday is actually, well, by the time you guys see this, it'll have been yesterday, the 17th. And I know I have that off from work, so I can spend time with my husband and try to enjoy my birthday. And it just hit me, like, we had some like work being done in our electrical in our house, so like we were supposed to go to a family gathering, but we couldn't go because he ended up staying super late, like 8 o'clock at night late, so we really just couldn't make it. But like, to be honest, I also told my mom, like, I'm having a very hard time with my mental health right now, and I'd rather like have like maybe a person at the party being annoyed that I'm not there or that I skipped it or however they want to look at it. But like, I made myself a promise a long time ago that I'm not going to let other people's thoughts about me dictate how I feel about myself. I know I'm a good person. I know that I have a heart full of love that feels too much, and it's just too big to ever fill it all the way up. But that's why I do what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm working on my second book. Can't say anything about it yet because it's okay, I take that back. All I can say is it is not anything like you are expecting. I can tell you that. It's not a memoir. So yeah, I just kind of vented to my mom, and I really just, I let myself break down. I let myself just be all the way honest. And I think, like, like, okay, so I was all the way honest yesterday. I expressed, like, I noticed there was like a couple job openings as like a, elementary teacher, like in the district in which I live, and it would only be 7 minutes away. I'd work like, 8 to 2:30, where like I'm already being told by my doctors like that I might be someone who isn't a candidate to work at all because of how bad my mental health can get on any given day. But I don't want to live my life choosing to believe like I need to count myself out before I like even try. And yes, have I tried before and it failed? Yup. Have I tried again and that failed? Yup. But I've also had about 2 years to do everything I've done. I've released my book. I've done some public speeches. I've been doing this podcast. I continue to post on my Facebook and Instagram accounts. Once I woke up today and I like finally got to like feel what it felt like, now that I like kind of put my cards on the table and was like, hey, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm swinging for the fence. Like, there's 2 positions open at that school. If it's meant to be, it will be. And so I put in my application, and once I felt like I put in the application, I already felt free. Like, I already felt so much happier because I feel like I'm really ready to do this again. And I also think that I'm getting to a point in therapy where it's kind of tricky because I love my therapist so much. So much. But when you're with somebody for over 20 years as the same therapist, and like, I wrote a book about the 32 strategies that I've learned from her in therapy across 23 years. So it's like, I don't need it to be taught the strategies. I know the strategies. I wrote a book about it. I use those strategies every day of my life. And I will continue to teach them to others to try to make your life better. So my advice to you, if you are struggling with depression, if you're starting to notice lack of interest in things you usually love, or just like an overall feeling of like being lethargic and kind of like lazy, and like you're staring at that pile of laundry and it needs to get cleaned, and all you have to do is pick it up and put it in the washing machine, put the pot in and turn it on. But that is just too much for someone that is clinically depressed. And to anybody that throws around words like, I hate this makes my blood boil. I hope you can tell. Because I really can't help it. It immediately swings my mood. Like, people that use mental health diagnoses as a form of some sort of a cute joke, no thank you. Clinical depression is no joke. No joke. So if you ever hear somebody say something like, oh man, it's raining again, I'm really just starting to get so depressed. Are they though? Are they literally like laying in their bed for 3 weeks and they haven't been able to take a shower because they can't have the energy to lift their hands up over their head to wash their hair because they're that physically, mentally, social, emotionally just done? That's depression. That's clinical depression that is best treated with medication and therapy. I want to share something with you because I love spoken word poetry. Fun fact. I follow the same couple poets because I just love their delivery of their poetry, but I also just like love every single word that they've written. It's like you could be the one talking from their perspective and you feel like it's you. So it's kind of special, So I wanted to read you, and I'm never going to be able to do it even half as well as the author Sabrina Bainham, because it's outstanding. Like her stage presence and just her delivery is amazing. But I did want to share this poem with you, and I wanted it to kind of be a nice way to end this episode because everybody struggles, and like people who struggle with depression, typically a big part of their struggle is their environment, like the environmental factors. Maybe it's people in your life that push back and don't understand you and judge you and aren't helpful, they're hurtful. I don't know, I just want you to think about, not everybody's going to understand. Fine. But don't let people bring you down just because they don't get it. And the truth is, they're jerks. They're jackasses for acting like that. So, this poem is called Explaining My Depression to My Mother, a Conversation. Mom, my depression is a shapeshifter. One day it is as small as a firefly in the palm of a bear. The next, it's the bear. On those days, I play dead until the bear leaves me alone. I call the bad days the dark days. Mom says try lighting candles. When I see a candle, I see the flesh of a church, the flicker of a flame, sparks of a memory younger than noon. I am standing beside her open casket. It is the moment I learn every person I ever come to know will someday die. Besides, Mom, I'm not afraid of the dark. Perhaps that's part of the problem, Mom. Mom says, I thought the problem was that you can't get out of bed. I can't. Anxiety holds me a hostage inside my house, inside my head. Mom says, where did anxiety come from? Anxiety is the cousin visiting from out of town depression felt obligated to bring to the party. Mom, I am the party. Only I am at a party that I don't want to be at. Mom says, why don't you try going to actual parties? See friends. Sure. I make plans. But I don't want to go. I make plans because I know I should want to go. I know sometimes I would have wanted to go. It's just not that fun having fun when you don't want to have fun, Mom. You see, Mom, each night insomnia sweeps me up into his arms and dips me into the kitchen small glow of the stove light. Insomnia has the romantic way of making the moon feel like perfect company. Mom says, try counting sheep. But my mind can only count reasons to stay awake. So I go for walks, but my stuttering kneecaps clank like silver spoons held in the strong arms with loose wrists. They ring in my ears like clumsy church bells, reminding me I am sleepwalking on an ocean of happiness I cannot baptize myself in. Mom says, happy is a decision. Mom says, but my happiness is as hollow as a pin-pricked egg. My happy is a high fever that will break. Mom says I'm doing so good at making something out of nothing, and then flat out asks me if I am afraid of dying. No, I am afraid of living. Mom, I am lonely. I think I learned that when Dad left, how to turn the anger into lonely, the lonely into busy. So when I tell you I've been super busy lately, I mean I've been falling asleep watching SportsCenter on the couch to avoid confronting the empty side of my bed. But my depression always drags me back to my bed until my bones are the forgotten fossils of a skeleton-sunken city, my mouth a boneyard of broken teeth from biting down on themselves. The hollow auditorium of my chest swoons with echoes of a heartbeat, but I am a careless tourist here. I will never truly know everywhere I have been. Mom still doesn't understand. Mom, can you see that neither can I? So that was Explaining My Depression to My Mother, a Conversation by Sabrina Bainham. Awesome. I highly suggest you look her up on YouTube, because she has so many awesome videos of her doing her, you know, spoken word poetry live, and it just hits differently than like just standing and reading a poem, you know. Like I tried to put like a little bit of her oomph into it, but like that's not really my gig, you know, not yet at least. So yeah, just wanted to leave you with that. Mental health stuff is hard. This is not a surprise. So take it one day at a time. Don't let your dreams pass you by just because people want to count you out already before you've begun. Because the truth is, the only person that you need to worry about making happy in your life should be you. Or they should be the most important person, because you deserve that. We all deserve that. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.